it's great to have you here. Just to recap, we talk all the usual stuff about finance, financial management, building a business, sustaining your finances, building wealth, all of that good stuff. But more importantly, we dive deeper into the psychological factors that affect your decision making. Now, this includes neurodivergence, mental health, the cognitive factors that go into your decision making, and understanding the science behind that. Finally, we aim to leave you with tips and tricks and things you can get going with today, tomorrow, this week, this month, to ultimately improve your financial situation. So dive in, join me, and I hope you enjoy. Now, today's conversation is more of a conversation starter, less of the usual format that we'll be providing here, but hopefully you find it useful, informative, and something you can go away and talk to family and friends about. We're talking about financial empathy. Now, there's a lot of conversation right now about neurodiversity, mental health, and rightly so. But what's not spoken about enough is the impact that has on one's finances. And that's what we'll be touching on ever so slightly today. Do you feel like you're supporting those around you in the best way possible? More importantly, are you being gentle with yourself when it comes to your financial circumstances? If not, please listen up. We're talking about financial empathy. Now, before we dive deeper, let's just get very clear about what empathy is. Now, in a quick snapshot definition, I'd say empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of somebody else. But let's see what we can find in terms of definitions online. And I'll share them below. Here we have empathy being the action of understanding, being aware of, being sensitive to. That was quite long. But I think by now you're getting a picture as to what empathy is. Financial empathy is being able to provide a safe space for somebody to share their vulnerable moments when it comes to their finances and not feel shame. At that point there, I'd love to freeze. When we talk about money, often shame is mixed right in there at the core. When we think about what money represents in terms of our social circles and presenting ourselves in a way that we feel accepted, if our finances are not set up to support that, shame can easily rise to the surface. So financial empathy is crucial given the problems that stress, worry, shame, and embarrassment can lead to. Now, there are several types of empathy, and I'd like to focus on two. One which I think is more important, and that's where the 5 tips will come from. The first is cognitive empathy. So cognitive empathy is more about perspective taking. It's on an intelligence level. You can imagine yourself in somebody else's shoes. Yeah, I can see myself being in debt like that. And that's as far as it goes. The other is affective empathy. So this is the emotional stuff that we're talking about here. This is where you feel what they may be feeling and you can relate to that. More importantly, you're able to respond on an emotional level, on the correct emotional level required for the situation. That's the crucial part that we want to work on here. So now I want to dive into those 5 tips to help you build financial empathy to support others who may be going through some kind of financial difficulty, and maybe again, more importantly, supporting yourself and being gentle with yourself and your own personal finances. Number 1, active listening. Be understanding. Try to understand what this person may be feeling. Check if you've ever felt the same before. Can you relate to them? Try to imagine yourself in their shoes. American psychologist Carl Rogers says, what is most personal is most universal. You're more likely to be able to relate to them if you take a second to try to identify to what is happening on an emotional level. Number 2, listen without judgment. Think about it for a moment. If you had experienced everything that this person had experienced in their lives, whether that's through family, upbringing, career choices, having children, whatever it may be, you would be in the exact same position as they were in. Listen without judgment. Number 3, how would you want to be treated if you was in the same situation as them? After you've gone through that work of making sure you understand what's happening to them on an emotional level, how would you want to be handled? And treat them in the same way. Number 4, ensure you're showing empathy through your body language. Face them, be open, be engaged, keep your phone away, actively listen. Let them know they're in a safe space and being listened to. Number 5, ask open-ended questions. Encourage conversation. Allow the conversation to flow and allow them to express. Part of this journey is them feeling safe enough to be open with you. And if you get to the point that you're possibly going to be offering suggestions, if they feel safe and feel heard, they're likely to be open to take on those suggestions and start improving their financial situation. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. We covered 5 tips to help you build financial empathy for other people. But I suggest also to apply that to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. In this section below, I'm going to provide some links to help you with some of the stuff we've covered today, such as active listening, empathy, etc. Hope to see you soon.